The world is used to Donald Trump's bold pronouncements, yet even by his standards this was extraordinary. The former US president, in a move that stunned the international community, proposed a radical plan for the Gaza Strip. His idea? For the United States to take control of Gaza. This would involve relocating 2.2 million Palestinian residents. Trump suggested they be moved to neighboring countries like Egypt and Jordan. His vision for Gaza after this mass displacement? To transform it into a glittering hub of modern infrastructure, a Riviera of the Middle East, he called it. The plan, reminiscent of ideas floated during Trump's presidency, immediately ignited a firestorm of controversy. It has been met with widespread condemnation, raising profound questions about international law, human rights, and the future of one of the world's most volatile regions. Trump's proposal, light on specifics, centered around a dramatic makeover of Gaza. This densely populated strip of land, ravaged by years of conflict and blockades, would be reborn as a beacon of modernity. Trump envisioned gleaming new cities rising from the rubble. He spoke of state-of-the-art infrastructure, a thriving tourism sector, and a hub for international business. This vision, while superficially appealing, ignored the staggering human cost and logistical challenges inherent in such a massive undertaking. Critics were quick to point out the plan's impracticality and its disregard for the Palestinian people's right to self-determination. The proposal lacked details about how the U.S. would manage Gaza, address the ongoing conflict with Israel, or ensure the economic viability of this ambitious project. Furthermore, the idea of transforming Gaza without acknowledging its history and the aspirations of its people struck many as tone-deaf and insensitive. The international response to Trump's proposal was swift and overwhelmingly negative. The proposal, which many saw as a drastic and unilateral move, sparked a wave of criticism from various corners of the globe. It wasn't just the usual suspects who voiced their discontent. The backlash came from a diverse array of voices, each expressing their unique concerns and perspectives on the matter. World leaders, human rights organizations, and even some of Trump's own allies condemned the plan. The proposal was seen as a significant departure from established norms and practices, raising alarms about its potential implications for international relations and global stability. Politicians from various countries convened emergency meetings to discuss the ramifications, while human rights activists mobilized to raise awareness and rally support against the proposal. King Abdullah II of Jordan, a key U.S. ally in the region, was quick to reject the idea. His response was particularly notable given Jordan's strategic importance and its long-standing relationship with the United States. King Abdullah's rejection underscored the deep concerns that many in the region had about the proposal's potential to destabilize an already volatile area. His public statements were echoed by other regional leaders, who also voiced their apprehensions. Saudi Arabia, a country not known for its criticism of U.S. foreign policy, also voiced its disapproval. This marked a significant departure from the usual diplomatic tone between the two nations. Saudi officials expressed their concerns about the proposal's potential to disrupt regional alliances and exacerbate existing tensions. The Saudi media covered the story extensively, highlighting the widespread unease and the potential consequences for regional stability. The Arab League, representing 22 Arab nations, issued a strongly worded statement denouncing the plan as a violation of international law. The statement emphasized the collective opposition of the member states and called for a unified response to counter the proposal. The Arab League's condemnation was a powerful reminder of the broad-based disapproval that the plan had generated across the region. The organization called for a unified front against what it described as a dangerous and irresponsible proposal. The Arab League's call to action resonated with many, prompting a series of diplomatic efforts aimed at building a coalition to oppose the plan. Protests erupted outside the Arab League headquarters, with demonstrators demanding that their leaders take a firm stand against the proposal. The condemnation was not limited to the political sphere. Across the globe, ordinary citizens, community leaders, and various organizations voiced their concerns. Public forums and community meetings were held to discuss the potential impact of the proposal, with many expressing their fears about its implications for human rights and international law. The widespread public outcry highlighted the deep-seated anxieties that the proposal had triggered. Hundreds of rabbis from various denominations took out a full-page advertisement in the New York Times to denounce the plan. Their collective action was a powerful statement of solidarity and a call to conscience. The advertisement detailed their concerns about the proposal's potential to undermine peace efforts and exacerbate existing conflicts. It was a rare moment of unity among religious leaders, who felt compelled to speak out against what they saw as a grave injustice. They were joined by prominent figures from the entertainment industry, academia, and civil society, all of whom lent their voices to the growing chorus of opposition. Celebrities used their platforms to raise awareness and mobilize their followers, while academics provided critical analyses of the proposal's potential consequences. Public figures from various walks of life came together to rally against the plan, highlighting the broad-based nature of the opposition, all expressing their outrage at the proposal's disregard for human rights and international law. The widespread condemnation underscored the deep concerns that many had about the proposal's potential to undermine established norms and principles. The global outcry was a testament to the power of collective action and the importance of standing up for justice and human rights in the face of controversial and potentially harmful policies. For Palestinians in Gaza, Trump's plan was not just bad policy, it was a personal affront. The proposal, which was touted as a peace plan, was perceived by many as a blatant disregard for their history and their rights. It was seen as an attempt to legitimize the occupation and further entrench the hardships they have faced for decades. The plan's unveiling was met with immediate and widespread condemnation from Palestinian leaders and citizens alike. They saw it as an attempt to erase their history, deny their rights, and strip them of their homeland. The images of protesters holding historical photos and flags were a powerful reminder of their enduring connection to the land. These photos, often depicting scenes from before the conflict, serve as a testament to their rich cultural heritage and the lives that were disrupted. Years of blockade and conflict have left Gaza impoverished and scarred. The aerial views of destruction and desolate streets paint a grim picture of the daily reality for many Palestinians. The blockade has severely restricted the flow of goods and people, leading to widespread poverty and unemployment. The constant threat of violence and the destruction of infrastructure have made life in Gaza a daily struggle for survival. Yet, amidst the rubble and despair, the Palestinian spirit of resistance remains unbroken. Families continue to rebuild their homes and communities, demonstrating remarkable resilience and determination. Children play among the ruins, a poignant symbol of hope and the desire for a better future. The sense of community and solidarity is strong, as people come together to support one another in the face of adversity. Protests erupted across Gaza and the West Bank as news of Trump's proposal spread. The streets were filled with people of all ages, united in their opposition to the plan. The protests were not just a reaction to the proposal itself, but also a broader expression of frustration and anger at years of occupation and injustice. The scenes of large crowds chanting and waving flags were a powerful display of collective defiance. Palestinians from all walks of life, teachers, shopkeepers, doctors, students, took to the streets to voice their opposition. The diversity of the protesters highlighted the widespread discontent with the plan. It was not just the political leaders or activists who were speaking out, but ordinary citizens who felt compelled to make their voices heard. This broad-based participation underscored the deep-seated grievances and the desire for justice and self-determination. They chanted slogans denouncing Trump and affirming their right to return to their ancestral lands. The chants and signs were a clear message to the world that the Palestinian people would not accept any plan that compromised their fundamental rights. The right to return is a core issue for many Palestinians, and the protests were a reaffirmation of their commitment to this cause. The message was clear: Palestinians will not be moved. The determination and defiance of the protesters were evident in their faces and their actions. They stood firm in their resolve to resist any attempts to undermine their rights and their identity. The signs declaring "We will not move" were a powerful statement of their unwavering commitment to their cause. They refused to be pawns in a geopolitical game orchestrated by outside powers. The protests were not just about the specific details of the Trump plan, but also about a broader rejection of foreign intervention in their affairs. The Palestinian people have long felt that their fate has been determined by external forces, and the protests were a demand for agency and self-determination. The plan was seen as a continuation of decades of dispossession and injustice, further fueling the Palestinian struggle for self-determination. The historical imagery of past protests and the ongoing struggle serve as a reminder of the long and difficult journey that the Palestinian people have endured. The fight for their rights and their homeland is far from over, and the protests are a testament to their enduring spirit and determination. Trump's proposal placed Egypt in a particularly difficult position. The plan, which was part of his broader Middle East strategy, aimed to reshape the region's political landscape. For Egypt, this meant navigating a complex web of alliances and historical ties. The country has always been a pivotal player in Middle Eastern politics, often acting as a mediator in conflicts and a bridge between the Arab world and the West. This role has earned Egypt both respect and scrutiny on the international stage. As a major recipient of U.S. aid and a key player in regional politics, Egypt has long walked a tightrope in its relationship with both the U.S. and the Palestinian people. The U.S. has been a crucial ally, providing substantial military and economic assistance that has bolstered Egypt's stability and influence. However, this alliance comes with strings attached, often requiring Egypt to align its policies with American interests, even when they conflict with regional sentiments or domestic priorities. The U.S. has provided Egypt with billions of dollars in military and economic assistance over the years. This aid has been instrumental in maintaining Egypt's military capabilities and supporting its economy. It has also been a tool of influence, with the U.S. leveraging this support to shape Egypt's foreign and domestic policies. The relationship is a delicate balance of mutual interests and strategic calculations, with both sides aware of the other's importance in the regional power dynamics. Trump, during his presidency, was known for his transactional approach to foreign policy. His administration's strategies often revolved around direct exchanges, where support and aid were contingent on compliance with U.S. demands. This approach was evident in his dealings with various countries, including Egypt, where he sought to secure cooperation on key issues by leveraging the substantial aid provided by the U.S. He had not hesitated to use aid as leverage to pressure countries into aligning with his administration's agenda. This tactic created a sense of unease among U.S. allies who found themselves in a position where their sovereignty and policy decisions were influenced by the need to maintain American support. For Egypt, this meant carefully navigating its actions to avoid jeopardizing the crucial aid while also addressing its own national interests and regional responsibilities. This history of pressure tactics left Egypt wary of directly confronting the U.S. The Egyptian leadership understood the risks involved in opposing American directives, especially given the significant aid at stake. However, the situation was further complicated by the need to maintain credibility and support within the Arab world and among its own citizens, who were deeply invested in the Palestinian cause. However, Egypt also recognizes the Palestinian cause's sensitivity and the potential backlash from its own population if it were seen as complicit in a plan to displace Palestinians. The Palestinian issue is a deeply emotional and politically charged topic in the Arab world, and any perceived betrayal could lead to significant unrest and damage Egypt's standing in the region. Balancing these competing pressures required a nuanced and strategic approach from the Egyptian government. The Egyptian government found itself caught between a rock and a hard place, facing pressure from the U.S. to cooperate and pressure from its own people and the Arab world to reject the plan outright. This dilemma highlighted the complexities of international diplomacy, where decisions are rarely straightforward and often involve weighing multiple, sometimes conflicting interests. For Egypt, the challenge was to navigate this intricate landscape without compromising its strategic alliances or its commitment to regional stability and justice.